Wayobu town. Wabeni negekai. Itwe maniruwa. Itwe manire isi. Now. Chapter no cow. Mawa gege bwakai. Chapter no cow ebe ni maebe tawo now. Ununozedo Kevbe Ebonozedo. Ununozedo Kevbe Ebonozedo. Ununozedo Kevbe Ebonozedo. Makawe gwakae ne kedore ade sopa mana we okado kade e ma he ko ya ilele. Chapter no kawo. Maya swewe na onaga na tie Edo Vowels. Edo Vowels ini Edo Language vowels ihion eno. When ka we tie when able to technically there are 5, but 2 letters appeared twice, and those 2 letters that appeared twice made Edo vowels to become 7 in number. So Edo vowels ni matewena ihion eno. Isente no. So pa letter O, Kevbe letter O. Vanaga O, but Edo Matiokbai O. So the vowels in here only at A. Only an A but A. Manokbana vigai A. I. O. U. Only in here. A vowels in here. So the Edo vowels, we have letter A, what the Englishman will call, in English language, what you will call letter A, but in the Edo language, we pronounce it as A, as in Areva, Abe. Meanwhile, it's letter A. That is the first vowel in Edo language. The second one is letter E in English. And then the third one is also letter E. But the first E, we pronounce it in Edo language as A. Okay? And then the third vowel, which is E again, we pronounce it as E, as in Edo. A as in Ebe. Ebe is book or paper. Ebe ni meriva. Ebe ni re. Nige. This is Ebe. So, letter E appeared twice in Edo vowel. The first letter E, we pronounce it in Edo language as A. The second letter E, we pronounce it as E, as in Edo. Edugi. Okay? So now, in the fourth vowel, in English vowel, it is pronounced as I. But in Edo language, we pronounce that letter I as in ice cream in English, but that letter I in Edo, we pronounce it as E, as in Ikbomusa. Letter I is pronounced as E in Edo language. So if you remember all these pronunciations and how to apply it, I bet you'll be able to learn Edo language in a very short while. You need to learn the vowels, and you need to know how we pronounce Edo vowels. So the fifth vowel is actually letter O in English, and we also call it O in Edo. And that O is called, as in when you say Osazoa, Osarodion, Osaze, it starts with vowel O. And then the O appeared the second time. And the second appearance of the O, it comes with a diacritic. Just as the second letter E that we pronounce as E is E in English version, but we pronounce it as E because of the diacritic. So the diacritic will determine your pronunciation. So the second letter O has a diacritic, and that diacritic automatically changed the pronunciation of the second letter O. And that second letter O is when you say Omorodion. Omodame. That one is pronounced as O because it has a diacritic. So just make sure when you are writing the names, where you are supposed to put the diacritic, put it there. Once you have the diacritic there, the pronunciation is very easy. Before you know it, you will speak Edo language fluently. You'll be able to exchange pleasantries and you'll be able to pronounce your names without alterations. So now, the last vowel is letter U. It's called U in English language, but Edo, we call it U. U as in you have Uswanlele. Uswanlele. That's letter U. So that is the last vowel in Edo language. We have 7 vowels. So those vowels, we are going to quickly pick one vowel and give 2 examples quickly before we round up this video. Come with me, let's go. So the first letter A, I told you we pronounce it as A. So the quickest example here is Ame. Ame. Ame is spelled as A-M-E. You still need English language for you to spell Edo. You need English language to write the letters. But the pronunciations is determined by the diacritic. The diacritic is what determines you to see where they are written O-S-A-Z-U-W-A, Osazoa. You quickly check, there's no diacritic under the letter O, so I should pronounce it as Osazoa. Whereas, another person can write Omodame at the bottom of Osazoa and ask you to pronounce it. Check out the diacritic. Omodame is spelled as O-M-O-D-A-M-W-E-N. So that way, when you see or, more, I'll teach syllables later. Yeah, I'll teach syllables later on how you can slash it and get it like that. Omodame will be O-M-O, you slash it, D-A, you slash it, then the M-W-E-N is another one. So Omodame will be spelled as 3 syllables, but we will get to that. So now, when you hear O, Mo, Dame, it means the first letter O has a diacritic, the second letter O has a diacritic, O-M-O, both have diacritic, the 2 O's. And then you get to D-A, Da, no diacritic. M-W-E-N, Omodame. When you hear Me, it means that there's a diacritic at the bottom of the E. So I'm going to teach this chapter 1 again, writing on the board, spelling the names and putting diacritics so that it will be very easy for you to pronounce and to identify where the diacritics are, where the consonants are, where the syllables are. We're going to get to that. But I don't want to get it too complicated so that you don't get discouraged. So that Ame is A-M-E. Example of letter A, Ame. And that Ame, the E, there is diacritic at the bottom. Ame in Edo language means water in English language. Ame. Very easy, it's a 3-letter word. Ame. A-M-E. Okay? So another quick example for letter A under the vowels, we have Abe. Abe. Abe means knife in Edo, but the spelling is A-B-E. Abe. So again, you will see that Edo language and Oral English has a lot of similarities. Like that A, when you say A for apple. Yeah, A for apple. So A for Abe, A for Ame. Abe is knife, Ame is water. Okay? So both letter E's that ended both words have diacritic. Abe, Ame. They both have diacritic. Okay? So you go to the second vowel, which is letter E in English language, and we pronounce it as A, which means the letter E in Edo language without diacritic is pronounced as A, as in Erabo. When you say Erabo, people will be wondering, Erabo. So if you don't understand Edo language, you want to write A. No. When you hear A as the first letter to start a name or word, name of person, name of thing, or whatever, it means is letter E without diacritic. Letter E without diacritic. Okay, so that letter E without diacritic, we have like example like a ho, which is ear. Eraboy can be family name, it can be name of person. Yeah. So you have words like eho. Eho. Eho is a name of a place. That one ends with arrow. Okay? But eho is just EHO. And that EHO means your ear. Eho, your ear. Okay? Your ear is eho. Yeah. So then you have ekita. Ekita is dog. Ekita. Eho is EHO. Yes, somebody is writing there that I didn't spell it. Eho is EHO. And then ekita is dog. Again, when you hear ekita, you will just think it's A-K-I-T-A. No. Anywhere you hear A, is automatically E when you are writing it. Applying the voice, bearing in mind the diacritic, your pronunciation will be super. And you will get it right. So you have ekita. Ekita is dog. Then you have the third vowel, which is e. That third vowel that is e is written as E, but the pronunciation changes as soon as you apply the diacritic, which is a dot at the bottom. And let me quickly point out again, I will always emphasize on this in all my lectures so that people can get it right. Edo language does not have diacritic at the top. Our diacritic comes up at the bottom. Yeah, comes up at the bottom. When you apply diacritic at the top, it looks as if you are writing a Yoruba language or you are writing French language. Okay, so now this letter E is the third vowel in Edo language, but we pronounce it as E. So we have examples like in Edo, Eho. The same spelling we had when we're writing the letter E without diacritic, that said Eho. Eho is EHO. Eho is EHO. So that is a very, very serious example that you must bear in mind whenever you are reading or learning or teaching Edo language. There are so many words that are spelled the same way, but the diacritic will give them up. Like Egbe and Egbe is spelled the same way. But applying diacritic, the meaning changes immediately. That's why anybody who wants to teach you Edo language must start with that diacritic. Because that diacritic changes the meaning, changes the pronunciations. And that pronunciation is very, very important. If you are able to pronounce it the right way, I will be able to tell you the meaning. The next person there can tell you, oh, you mean this, you mean that. But when you want to say Eho, you go and say Eho. Because it's the same pronunciation. Because you are not applying the diacritic under the third vowel. So that third vowel, we have Eho, we have Ehi. Eho means your neck, my neck like this, that is Eho. The spelling is EHO. And then we have Ehi. Ehi is also EHI. Ehi means your destiny. Ehimeo, your destiny. Ehimema. You know, you can apply it in different ways, it depends. So you go to the fourth vowel, which is English language, it is called letter I, but in Edo language we call it E. As in Ikpomusa, Iyekekpolo, Inyegumena, and all of that. Iyo. Inye. Inye is news, Iyo is thoughts. That is the fourth vowel. And then the fifth vowel is letter O. And that letter O is as when you have Osazuanoma, Osaze, Osarodio, Osargyodua, and all of that. So when you are able to know that any letter O that starts a name that does not have a diacritic, go ahead and pronounce it the English way. Just the way you spell, the way you pronounce over or oven, okay? Pronounce it like that because there's no diacritic. But if you now go to the sixth vowel, the sixth vowel has diacritic. The sixth vowel has diacritic again because it is letter O with diacritic. I've given examples with letter O without diacritic, as well as already and what have you. So the letter O that has diacritic is the sixth vowel. And that letter O that has diacritic is the one you say omomo. Omomo. 3 diacritic in just one word. And that one word is spelled as O-M-O-M-O. Omomo. Omomo. O-mo-mo. So you already know that O, all the O's have diacritic. And that omomo in Edo language is called omomo. In English language, it means baby. Baby, yeah, it means baby. So we also have an example as in Oba. Oba. Please, that name is too big in Edo Kingdom. Never you put the diacritic at the top. It's disrespectful. The letter O that starts the spelling of Oba, Oba no rekete, that O carries diacritic at the bottom. That's our big daddy. If there's any other adjective to qualify him, oh God, please stop putting diacritic at the top. The diacritic should come at the bottom. It's Oba. O. That gives you an example of the sixth vowel in Edo. And then the last but not the least vowel, which is number 7, that is what we pronounce as U. U as in Uswalele. So that letter, that vowel U, in English language actually is vowel U, but in Edo language we pronounce it as U, U, Uzebu, Usunobu, Uswalele. All these are family names. That Uswalele, when you remember that our last vowel is pronounced as U, you will not go and be pronouncing Uswalele. The way you pronounce usual in English language. You will remember to say, oh, Edo language vowel. The last vowel, the 7th vowel, the most popular vowel is pronounced as U, Uswalele, Usunobu, Uzebu, Ugiagbe, and so on and so forth. It's U, 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 U. When you see any word or family name that starts with letter U, quickly just say U. Is U in Edo language. So you switch. When you switch to U, then you can pick up the other ones. Applying the syllables, the diacritic, it will help your pronunciations, and it will also help you in the meaning and definitions. So now, the last letter U, we also have examples here. Uswalele as family name. We have example as Uzokbo, which is bowl. We also have example as Uzebu, is family name. I think we will stop here, and then in our next lecture, we're going to be talking about diacritic as a full-fledged topic, and we're going to bring out names, Edo language names, that will depict diacritic properly, and at the end of the day, we will be able to use diacritic to spell some names, apply diacritic, and then we gradually go on and on. I'm going to be taking it stage by stage, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Remember to grab your copy. We have it on Amazon. Yeah, we have it on Amazon. You can read it on Amazon. You can grab a copy. You can buy one online. But all things being equal, I will be putting you through, because I'm not supposed to be teaching the entire book online. But I need to do that. That's the only way we encourage our children. Very soon, my students, I've registered about 21 students now. So we're just waiting for the Christmas break to start our online lectures, where you will see the students asking questions and then we responding, and then before we proceed. Thank you very much. I know Edo language is not easy to learn, But I am encouraging you, and I'm also appealing to you. Let's do it together. Okay? Yeah. Let's do it together, and I am very, very optimistic that you're going to thank me later. Endeavor to subscribe, and then you can subscribe for your children as well. Yes, we don't do anything out of points. So it's safe for kids, it's safe for youths, it's safe for parents, grandparents, and what have you. Don't forget to put your observation comment at the bottom. I am open to criticism, please. Waya wese, waya obi tuta, obi damiho, wawese, awese kakabo. Domo.